Hello, hello. Hello, I'm Guillaume. I'm here with Rosalie, aka the Crypto Queen. This is Stop Losing, Start Trading, the trading show that we at the Panoptic team are doing multiple times a week. Today, we'll try to chase these all time highs, but this is our way to discuss the markets, discuss what the options landscape looks like besides the price action. And also, I'm not teaching Rosalie anymore. She's quite advanced now, but we're trying to teach Rosalie and everyone how to trade options, how to be using options as a way to get more strategic in your trading. Eventful weekend. How are you doing today, Rosalie?
Good, good. Yeah, it was a really exciting weekend. Ethereum finally hit a new all-time high. It was really, really exciting. I know I kind of was a little bit bearish last time we put on the trade, so that felt a little silly, but my holdings went up, so it's fine.
Yeah, everything. The rising tide lifts all boats, but the very sudden price move on yesterday, now back to much lower. If you look at the 24-hour chart, it's not good, but it's because we've hit this all time high. I think the new one is probably 4,950 or 45. Very excited to see this as well. My alarms were buzzing all over the place. But yes, I did not look at the other tokens. But yes, you did a small survey. Was every token pumping at the same time? I don't know. Couldn't have it.
Yeah, I think Chainlink went up like 8%, and then Solana went up a little bit as well, and some new tokens, but um
I never do this, but can we sort? Yes. Best performance.
oh,
Hi, hyperliquid. Why not? But yes. Yeah, no, pretty cool. So again, I was excited to also see the all-time high. Ethereum, again, if you look at the past 24 hours, it's down. It's because we hit that high. But whatever you do, yeah, the spike has been sudden. Now it was down. Someone dumped, I guess, or realized some profits. Now we're at 4,600, which is still uh, quite high. Again, I would not say that it's something to be sad about, but it's definitely going back and forth. Zooming out 1 week, ahead of the week. A lot of what we see is that these sudden, extremely violent price moves are associated with some level of stability. This is again what we're seeing. So some stability, price move. This might be where we're hovering around 45 to 4,700. But yes, I'm not worried about the price action. Going up is always fine. If it goes down, it's a different story. But overall, there's always the options markets to be directional. And as you said, Chainlink. Let's look at. I think Chainlink is still the biggest non-layer one token. It's an app. It's actually the one that's performing the best. Again, Hyperliquid's on its tail, but yes, oops, that bullshit. But yeah, Link. This one was also maybe, oh, maybe not. If you look at ETH, the spike did not translate itself in Chainlink, but it's still doing pretty well near the highs, I'm sure. Yes, over the past 3 months, even the yearly. So, yeah, going back and forth. We haven't done any Chainlink trade, so we could even set one up if you want. Do you think that's a good one? We can exit one or two markets if you want, but yeah,
yeah, I mean, I think I had a lot of fun doing the other altcoin trades that we did. And so
perfect.
I would expect Chainlink to kind of be similar. It would
Okay,
be-
because I think the different coins we were kind of, let me see, rescale. Yeah, we were doing different coins. Let's look at what the current state of the market is with intern. The open PNL is slightly negative. We did hit a all-time high in our portfolio, but we're down today because of the price moving. But yes, we have that one we haven't touched in a while. ETH USDC, ETH BTC is the one that is losing, and then we have the ratio. But actually, if we were to look, I yes, let's look at ETH, which is our biggest loser. Price going up, we're losing. This is only the open positions. Uh, yeah, this is what this looks like. What are your thoughts?
yeah, I mean, it doesn't look too great. I mean, we're earning a little bit of fees, but it took a pretty big loss there. I know last time you mentioned that maybe if it goes to 50% loss. Like that's kind of where we might consider closing it. And so I'm not really sure how we feel about it today. Um,
Yeah, same as me because the this is directional. And it's a monthly or weekly actually. So weekly time scale. Opened this up 6 days ago, about a week ago. And as you said, we did earn some premium, which is great. Now we're in the zone where there's overlap in both legs, so we're paying a little bit on both sides, but it's actually pretty mild. But the key point is this: yeah, we're a bit wrong directionally. We thought it was going to go down. It did go up, went all the way up here, which would have been pretty sad. But now we are back up a little bit. So we instead of losing $300, we're only losing 150. Um, the first question whenever we have a position like that that we may want to manage is: are you still holding the same assumption? Are you still bearish the ETH price now?
I'm still a little bit bearish. Yeah, I mean, even if it when it hit the all-time high, it was so short-lived, and I feel like a lot of people are selling, but I'm not sure if I really feel the same range. Still, I don't know if it'll drop that quickly, and so
Yeah, because the optimal range is below maybe 4,500. Because if we're below 4,500, we have two legs, and there's a region of overlap right here. So if we go below this, we only get paid. Here we pay a tiny bit. If it's above 5K, then we pay a lot. So it might be worth readjusting a little bit, if that what you mean, because the there is some delta. If you're bearish and you still think it's true, you're in a better position almost because you have bigger slope. Um, but the fact that we're paying a little bit is what annoys me too. So
yeah, me too. I think maybe it's okay to just kind of and take the loss here and redeploy maybe a more delta neutral position. I would just I'm always so jealous. So many of our users are really good at taking these directional bets, and I wanted to do it too.
and we've seen even the best and worst trades of Friday. Sometimes the timing is great. It meant at one price close at the absolute top. I'm sure that this week we'll have a bunch of people. Sorry, we'll have a bunch of people that might have timed the top. uh, Having like dozens, if not hundreds, of traders at some point, you have a mix of everyone. So someone that is losing, there's 25 people that are losing because they did not time it right. So I would not look at others and be jealous because at the end of the day, they may be still losing somewhere else. But yes, if they're bullish, they are definitely on the right side of the price action. So I also agree we should probably close this. This is basically, so we're paying a little bit, 0.06. This is a tiny amount, but this is like a short perp that has a negative funding rate. So you pay and it's short. So I don't know how it is in different uh, perp dexes, but that might not be the best state to be in, especially when I do think that we may have more neutral to bullish even. So let's see what the trade that could be done could look like, given that the prices did indeed move. Did you say, yeah, neutral or neutral to bullish, neutral to bearish, totally
Yeah,
neutral?
something more neutral where we can capitalize on some fees and yeah, stay within a better range.
Yeah, so this is a monthly option, as neutral as you can get. I put it right at the current price. We can look at the weekly. Weekly would be narrower, but what I want to pay attention is the price range. So currently, from 3,600 to 5,800, we're getting paid a tiny bit of premium. It's a monthly time scale. Are you neutral, range bound with that monthly too, or you would be a bit more directional than that?
Yeah, I think no, this is probably a good monthly range for just fees. I know that if it kind of like goes towards the left or right side of this, we might be losing a little bit. So, is there a way to kind of offset the delta a little bit so that we would be making more as the price
Goes
moves?
up?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we can offset this a little bit. There's always the ability to not make them overlap. But here, if you do this, you have a tiny bit of positive deltas. The max profit is about 5K. So if we do revisit that all time high, you'll be max profit. if we're wrong and it goes down, then you're losing a bit. Like this is gamma risk, but you're losing a bit more. So from bearish to bullish, or bearish to neutral, or
I
bearish.
think I would be a little bit more bearish.
Okay, so we can still explore a tiny bit on the other side. This is the same thing. If now the price were to revisit 4,300, which is not far, you'll max profit. If it goes up again, you'll be exposed to the downside. We can always size ourselves so that we don't have too much exposure. It's all about sizing too. You could be wrong, and if it's a fraction of your portfolio, it's much easier to shoulder than if you're putting all of your portfolio at the same place. Uh, and that could be also a neat neutral to bearish, some level of cushion on the downside. If we do revisit, we may be exposed to losses, but again, I would not expect the price to go above 5,500.
No, me neither. And I think, we'll always have our deposits as well. So I think it
Yes,
makes more sense to have more downside protection in this
yes,
case.
that's true. And I do, yeah, we have something cooking where we can easily neutralize your deltas for your whole portfolio, so a single click. But for now, we'll have to kind of think about this. So yes, that would be neutral. So yeah, neutral to bearish, just making sure we collect as much fees as possible. This position will benefit if it is a slight drawdown, but overall uh, not necessarily capitalize on a lot of price moves. So let me paste this here for those that want. And intern has also to listen to this, but yes, this is uh, the link you have to click if you want to replicate this position, and you can actually have a neutral to bearish position on ETH as your exposure. And then we might just jump right into the Chainlink one, because I do want to see what liquidity looks like on Chainlink. The way that you change markets is that you can just click here. Now I'm going to input link as the token, and there's maybe let's start this by, yes, the one that definitely has the most TVL is link ETH, 30 basis point. The other ones, there's link USDC. Yeah, maybe we have some freedom. Are you uh, and then yeah, you probably see this. Look, the top two rows, ETH link or USDC link. And now, knowing everything you know about the panoptic markets, is there one that seems a bit more attractive than the other?
I mean, it looks like the ETH one would be more attractive, but there are more APYs for the USDC one. So that's really interesting, but I'm not really too interested in that. I think this is kind of one of those things where people do trade the ratio more.
Hmm.
Um, Even though it might be something that feels a little bit more unfamiliar because I always compare it to USDC. I think we should probably do
Because
the
I mean, the point, because USDC now has a tiny bit more. I mean, the one point that is interesting is the IV, 112%. This is actually quite high, and we'll have to look at the Ivory rank. But the fact that it's USDC based, it's less correlated. Let's just have a quick look. But the IV is quite high, and I just want to see the liquidity distribution of that, because yeah, I'm almost tempted to say let's capitalize on that extremely high IV that we're seeing
Okay.
in the USDC term, because the liquidity is actually quite well. If the liquidity was pretty badly deployed, or you have kind of skew, I would not have recommended it. Someone wants to sell, but most of the liquidity was well deployed. It has collected some amount of volume and fees, and then there's no link or USDC deposit anywhere else, but that's fine. But I would also be looking at the IV percentile, quite high. And as you said, you maybe are also looking at the price of link in terms of USDC. So I would also maybe look at this in a slightly better, even though the liquidity is lower, it's well deployed in a slightly better. This might be a slightly better market to go because of the IV.
Okay, yeah, and so we could probably collect more fees.
Yes, and the fact that it's quite high, uh, you can assume it's going to subside or not move as much. And you've seen the ETH, the link price also is kind of hitting all the higher it's been over the past year. So there might be some like max or ceiling here. So I would say, yeah, let's set up a trade on the link USDC. We don't. It's hard to see. The gas is actually somewhat cheap. Way at the bottom, we show the gas price of zero point 0.7. So we can certainly have a small-ish position and still not spend too much on gas. And yes, if we were to look at the link USDC, what's your assumption? What do you feel about this asset?
Yeah, I think I would probably want to be more range bound, neutral,
Okay.
neutral to bearish.
Okay.
Um,
And you can certainly do a strangle. And this is the when there's a neutral component, neutral to bearish, neutral to bullish, neutral, the straddles makes a lot more sense because you have more capital, more bang for your buck, more returns. And the way that you want to be neutral or bullish is just by dragging around and having the deltas here. So on the cursor, if this were a position, monthly option, somewhat bearish because it's has point negative 0.07 link of deltas, but the max profit is a bit lower. So that's the best way to think about this. And that would be range bound between 18 and 30 ish. I don't think we've hit 30 in a long time. Actually, let me see if the price is here. So we have the
yeah, I
max.
think that was like 2 years ago.
Yeah, actually, let me see the. I'm gonna share the CoinGecko price a little bit, but this is definitely the all-time high, 45. So the 50 Link Marines. I don't know if you're around in 2021, but this was a crazy, crazy time.
This was when I bought Chainlink. I
Do you
was
remember what cost basis?
yeah. Um,
Was it also near the top, or what was your cost basis? Do you
yeah,
remember?
yeah. This was the probably right at the end of summer in 2021. So
Okay. So it might be like end of summer. You might be at 30-ish. Could be your entry point because it looks like this was August-ish. So, anyways, this is a very, very I mean, one of the granddaddy of coins, but it does seem that it's hinting towards maybe its previous highs. Again, it barely hit 30 earlier this year, so I would expect that it could hover around the same price. And yeah, this is neutral to bearish, but we've seen a lot of the times the altcoins, they are kind of a lot more volatile than ETH, so we might even be able to kind of see the returns accumulate a lot faster. If you remember, the ticker Bitcoin was printing a lot, so here 112% IV is a huge, a good deal in terms of this. So, and do you want to be neutral? Because depending on if we start with some link in the wallet, you may have to. I mean, actually, yeah, I'll have intern figure it out. But that payoff, if we include the deposits, is definitely neutral to bearish, range bound between, as I said, 18 and 29. You expect to make. Oh yeah, it's a weird number. So you expect to make about 2% per month if this is true, and then if it stays in range, good. If not, then we'll have to figure it out. But yeah,
yeah, I don't expect it to leave this range. I could see this
perfect.
kind of growing a little bit more as well. So
Perfect. So we have some. I mean, the intern has some more cut out for them, but yes, deposit into the chain link, the chain link USDC pool. And actually, since we're here, so if you follow the link that I just pasted and covers Rosalie's face, sorry. If you follow this link, you'll be facing this exact view that we're seeing here, and it's going to ask you to deposit. So if you come in, you will just have to deposit the amounts to make it work. We can tell you until it makes sense if you don't have enough. But yes, that's how you enter a market. You can start with the position, deposit the amounts that we tell you need to deposit. Or if you go from the markets page, I'm just going to circulate there because it's not super obvious if you start from scratch how to actually enter a market. But from the markets page, we show the pools that are featured and earn pips. Here we show all the other pools. There's a lot, so you typically want to enter your Chainlink token And this is the pool. So you just go here and deposit and also get the amount that you want. Or if you're adventurous, you can also click on this to look at the properties of the market that were here. Also deposit here. There's a bunch of entry points and might be confusing for some, but yeah, that's how you actually. This page I like a lot because it shows everything I need. It shows the IV percentile. This is the fees that have been generated by Uniswap holders. This is the distribution. So it's actually quite a good starting point, and you can deposit and draw from there, which is great. If you scroll down, there might be information, but for now, there's nothing. So this is kind of also another good entry point when you do the research, when you look at different IVs. This is how you get there.
I think it's really great if you have a specific strategy in mind already, and then you can just deposit what you need for that specific strategy. So I would start doing that with picking a strategy first. It's also important to notice that like we're always trying to be on the sell side. So I think buying and selling looks very different on Panoptic sometimes. And so you got to remember that when you're selling and people buy that liquidity from you, you might, run into some issues with like how to get like close that position and like force exercising people. And so there's some things to consider here. So if you know the strategy you want to do first, then I think it gets a little bit easier.
Yes, exactly. And as you can mimic what we've created with that Chainlink USDC straddle, or you can interact with the interface, change it the way you want. But yes, this is actually pretty. I think this is a very fine strategy because we have closing the position at a loss, which is unfortunate, but this happens. Minting a new position that is a little bit more neutral to bearish, but still capitalizing the fees, and creating a link, entering a new market. Someone can buy this option from you and create a straddle too, but on the buy side. But for now, that's going to be kind of the two positions that we're managing. I think Intern may need to close one of their position because now we are in ETH and USDC and Bitcoin and a bunch of markets. We may not have a lot of capital, so we may have to remove, maybe take our Bitcoin, let's say, which has been nice. But then either trade meme coins or trading the biggest DeFi token around.
Yeah. I think we also the Bitcoin position that we had, I think maybe it's time to close as well. I think the last time we checked, we were kind of near our max profits. So
Yes, and there's one here. This is on Twitter. So unfortunately, oops, sorry, someone Hunter, some no, want to see the link there. So let me see if I can bring the two links that we've created on Twitter because it looks like the yes, unfortunately, it might be a bit difficult, but I'll try to. You can go on YouTube to get it. Maybe we'll quote tweet actually the Panoptic account with these links. That might be something we do every time actually, because we can now go back and create those exact same positions, make it a bit easier for people to enter. So actually, let's do this. Right after we're done, the Panoptic account will quote tweet these two links out of the account, and then you can just follow this from the announcement that we had the live stream.
I'm excited. Maybe somebody wants to trade Chainlink with me. This is great.
Train chain, yeah. I mean, any directional assumption, you can do the same thing on Uniswap on its own. The key advantage, if you do it on Panoptic, you are getting paid by depositing. So you get paid even if you don't trade. And if you do trade, you do have a steady stream. So this is like depositing on Aave, earning a yield, but then that capital at the same time is deployed into Uniswap. So that's a big advantage. You have a 3 to 5, depending on the market, sometimes 10% if it's actually very active. You have a APR that is supplying your trading. And at the same time, if you're just a options trader, if you're an LP, you can also have someone buy the option from you. They can actually create a higher return profile because they're paying you more, and that means that you can also be more again profitable as an LP if you do it through Panoptic.
Yeah.
And also, this is the secret bit of alpha. If you sell options on Uniswap, if you sell options on Panoptic, you're not getting paid enough. It's based on realized. Sometimes it's working, but most of the time it's a slightly more difficult return profile. But if you buy cheap options, you have a higher chance of profit. That's another way to do this as well. So that's actually pretty cool. I would probably, yeah, sorry, stop here. We'll quote tweet. Anyone that is listening can actually now retrade the same exact positions, see how they do. Maybe we all participate in the same markets. Who knows? But yes, this has been great, great. We'll cue the outro music, but that's gonna be it for today. And I'll see you, Rosalie, and everyone else on Wednesday.